Born from struggle, resistance, spirituality, and hope, Rastafari is far more than a cultural symbol associated with reggae music, dreadlocks, or the colors red, gold, and green. It is a spiritual and social movement that emerged from the hardships of colonialism and racial oppression, offering dignity and identity to people who had long been marginalized. Deeply rooted in African consciousness and liberation, Rastafari calls upon its followers to reconnect with their heritage, challenge injustice, and seek spiritual truth beyond conventional systems of power. Rastafari emerged in the 1930s in Jamaica, during a period marked by poverty, racial discrimination, and economic inequality. The movement developed partly in response to the teachings of Jamaican activist and black nationalist Marcus Garvey, who encouraged people of African descent to embrace pride in their heritage and foretold the crowning of a black king in Africa. When Rastafari Makanan was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia in 1930 under the name Haile Selassie I, many Jamaicans viewed this event as spiritually significant. Rastafarians came to regard Haile Selassie as a divine figure or a messianic presence, believing him to represent God incarnate or the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. The name Rastafari itself derives from Rastafari, Haile Selassie's title and birth name before becoming emperor. Followers believe that Ethiopia holds a sacred place as Zion, a spiritual homeland representing freedom, redemption, and African unity. In contrast, the oppressive structures of colonial society, materialism, and systemic injustice are often symbolized as Babylon. Babylon in Rastafarian thought refers not only to governments or institutions, but also to systems that exploit, dominate, and disconnect people from spiritual truth. One of the most striking aspects of Rastafari is its emphasis on identity and resistance. For many followers, the movement became a way to reject colonial values that had historically diminished African culture and dignity. Rastafari encouraged black pride at a time when racial prejudice and Eurocentric ideals dominated society. By celebrating African heritage, language, and spirituality, the movement gave people a renewed sense of self-worth and belonging. Spirituality within Rastafari is highly personal and decentralized. Unlike many organized religions, Rastafari does not possess a central authority, rigid hierarchy, or universally accepted doctrine. Instead, beliefs vary among different communities and individuals. However, many Rastafarians refer to God as Jah, a shortened form derived from biblical tradition. Jah is believed to dwell within every person, emphasizing the sacredness of humanity and the connection between the divine and everyday life. The Bible plays an important role in Rastafarian belief, though interpretations often differ from mainstream Christianity. Rastafarians may focus especially on passages relating to liberation, exile, and divine justice. Ethiopia is viewed as spiritually significant, and some followers interpret biblical references symbolically to affirm African identity and redemption. This unique interpretation reflects the movement's broader goal of reclaiming spiritual narratives through an African-centered lens. Dreadlocks are among the most recognizable symbols associated with Rastafari. Inspired partly by biblical references, particularly the Nazirite vow, dreadlocks symbolize strength, spirituality, resistance, and natural living. However, not all Rastafarians wear dreadlocks, and reducing the movement solely to hairstyles overlooks its deeper philosophical and spiritual foundations. The outward appearance is often meant to express inner commitment rather than fashion. Another important aspect of Rastafari is the emphasis on natural living, known as livity. This concept encourages harmony with nature, physical well-being, and spiritual purity. Many Rastafarians follow an Edel diet, which emphasizes natural, unprocessed foods and often excludes meat, artificial ingredients, and excessive salt. The philosophy reflects a broader belief that spiritual wellness is connected to physical health and mindful living. Music, especially reggae, played a major role in spreading Rastafarian ideas across the globe. Through artists like Bob Marley, themes of liberation, resistance, peace, and spirituality reached audiences far beyond Jamaica. Marley's songs introduced millions to concepts such as Babylon, Zion, and Jah, making Rastafari internationally recognized. Yet, while reggae amplified its message, Rastafari itself remains a spiritual worldview rather than simply a musical culture. Rastafari has also influenced global discussions about identity, anti-colonialism, and social justice. Its emphasis on resisting oppression and affirming marginalized voices resonates with many communities worldwide. Over time, the movement has expanded beyond Jamaica, attracting followers from diverse racial and cultural backgrounds who identify with its spiritual teachings and ethical principles. At the same time, Rastafari has often been misunderstood or stereotyped. Media portrayals sometimes focus narrowly on cannabis use, dreadlocks, or music, ignoring the movement's deeper philosophy. For many adherents, cannabis has spiritual significance and is sometimes used ceremonially to encourage meditation and communal reasoning, though practices differ widely among individuals and groups. Today, Rastafari continues to evolve while preserving its core ideals of dignity, freedom, spirituality, and resistance to injustice. It remains a powerful reminder that faith can emerge from suffering and become a source of hope, identity, and transformation. More than a religion or lifestyle, Rastafari stands as a call to seek truth, honor heritage, and imagine a world built on justice, unity, and spiritual awakening.